So glad everyone is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Gay Pride Month. Really, we're going to allow this feeling of gay pride, gay and pride, excitement, right? Gay and pride, excitement. Let's be excited about being proud of who we are, living fully and authentically with pride. Today, we have a special treat. We have our very own Reverend Alfreda Lanoix, who's going to dive really deep into our subject of the month, living fully and authentically with pride. It's a great month. It's a great time. And I'm so glad everyone's here. We've got people all around the country, all around the world, and we thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. So as always, we'll begin with a brief meditation. So I invite you to become comfortable in your seat right where you are. And let's start becoming aware of our breath. Let's consciously and deliberately inhale deeply and exhale completely. And we all get to do this at our own comfortable pace. But let's consciously and deliberately feel the breath. And so I invite you to allow your eyes to close. When I close my outer eyes, I automatically imagine that I can open my heart even more. So I'm closing the outer eyes, imagining that my heart can open even more. And I'm following my breath, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And so if thoughts enter your awareness, you get to have dominion over those thoughts and you get to remind yourself, right now, I'm just breathing. I'm not figuring things out. I'm not listing what I have to do after this meeting. I'm simply following my breath, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely for the next couple of minutes. As you're following your breath, perhaps in your mind, you can join me with this mantra. Every time you inhale, I get to live fully. Every time you inhale. And every exhale, I get to live authentically. I get to live fully. I get to live authentically. Let's be with that for a moment. Again, being very conscious of the breath, inhaling deeply. I get to live fully. Exhaling completely. I get to live authentically. And now we'll change it up a little bit. I choose to live fully. And I choose to live authentically. And continuing to be aware of the breath, particularly the next 3 breaths, very deeply, very consciously. And still focusing your attention on your heart. I invite you to imagine that your heart can open even wider. And so now, as you inhale deeply, imagine that you are receiving love. And as you exhale, imagine that you are sending love. And as we dwell in this vibration of love, I invite you to allow your fingers and toes to move a little bit. And I take this opportunity to speak a word of blessing for today's gathering. Mother, Father, God, infinite intelligence, I am thankful and grateful for this unique and specific way that Spirit has shown up today. Thankful and grateful for the awareness that God is all that there is. Thankful and grateful to know that all that there is God. Everything seen, everything invisible, every sound, every silence. God is all there is, and all that there is God. Everything I know is God, and every mystery is God. And everything that I think that I know that maybe I don't even have a clue about, it's still God. God is everything, and everything is God, and I exist. Therefore, I must be created in the image and in the likeness and out of the very substance of God, nothing less. And as I know this to be my truth, I know the very same truth for everyone present, that we show up individually and collectively as God itself. So already, I know that this is a powerful time that we spend together, for it's God meeting itself in the form of each of us and all of us. I'm thankful and grateful for the unique and specific way our very own Reverend Alfreda Lanoix shows up to speak the topic of this month, living fully and authentically with pride, inspiring each of us to live our true authentic self. I'm thankful and grateful for Uniq Maurice, who shows up giving us a God shot, launching us to our greatest yet to be. This is a good session, a good service. All is exceedingly well already, and the world is made a better place because we kept this divine appointment. So I'm thankful and grateful for this time, thankful and grateful to know that as I release this prayer to the action of God's living, loving law, God takes over, guiding and directing us from glory to greater glory. It's good, it's done, and I'm thankful. I release this prayer, and so it is. Amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome once again. So glad to have you all here. In a moment, I will invite our very own Reverend Tom Hennessy to lead us in Namaste as well as our mission statement. But before I do that, I invite you to just raise up your hands towards your computer, and let's just send some love to each other. Welcome to Inspire. I recognize you, I see you, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you everyone for being here. We meet on the second and fourth Sundays of every month. We skipped a Sunday this month so that people can attend some of the Gay Pride parades and celebrations. And these are launching pads, right? We go to a celebration to continue to remember to celebrate our own Gay Pride. So thank you for showing up. You make a difference. Next month, the month of July, we'll have Reverend Frida again, and we'll have Reverend Candace at the end of July. So we've always got great speakers for you. So we're looking forward to a great service today. So at this time, I'm going to invite Reverend Tom Hennessy to lead us in Namaste as well as our mission statement. Reverend Tom.
Okay, welcome everybody, and it's a great way to get together. Namaste is saluting the God in me salutes the God in you. So when we do that, when we salute, we're saluting ourselves because it is all God. So as we put our hands on our hearts, we realize, we see that light of the third eye shining bright. So we go ahead and we put our hands on our hearts, move it up to our lips, move it to our third eye, back down to our lips, bow forward and say Namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you. Okay, our mission statement. Inspire is a spiritual community of like-minded souls committed to walking our talk in joyous fellowship by demonstrating the power of love, compassion, and non-judgment every day in every way. Recognizing the divinity of all life, we stand united by actively liberating humanity by healing judgment, fear, and shame within ourselves. Our intention to create world peace, piece by piece. Woohoo! And now I'm going to turn it over to our next speaker, which is Uniq Maurice, and for our God shot. Take it away, Uniq.
Hello. Hi, everyone. What a lovely place to be at this moment. I am enjoying myself already. Just being able to see everybody's beautiful faces, just being able to be in the presence of all of you. I'm just grateful. And happy Pride, yes. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm glad that I was able to be here to speak. So just thinking about the theme of the month, living fully in our authentically with pride. I really was contemplating on where I wanted to go and how I wanted to feel about this. It's a strong statement, really, and it can go anywhere. It can take you to any level. It can take you to any place. It can take you to your heart's desire. It can go anywhere. And I think that when I was thinking about it, I said, I believe that this can take you to any place. It can take you to gay pride. It can take you to the pride of your family. It can take you to pride of being around a loved one when it comes romantically as well. And it also can take you to a place where it doesn't always seem beautiful. And that's where I realized. And I wanted to come from a place that was where I felt it can come from an authentic place for me. And so when I'm thinking about it, I believe that, sorry, my headphone. I believe that having pride is believing and trusting in yourself. Like, whether you want to give another label to it, I think that's what being authentically who you are is just being able to be truthful with yourself, telling yourself that sometimes you are going to be great this day. And sometimes you're not, but being authentically able to say, today ain't the day. Today is the day. And when I really came into this, I realized I started thinking about my family and the experiences that I've been experiencing with them. Have I been completely authentic with them? Have I been allowing myself to show my authentic self with them because of all the criteria that we have with our family? And then being in a romantic relationship as well, you do the same thing. I think a little bit. You figure out who you are, but sometimes you don't always express it because is this going to hurt their feelings? Is this going to make them feel bad, or are you not going to be able to express yourself because you have to compromise who you are in order to be with someone else? And I think that also goes to work. And the reason why I mentioned that too is because I also believe that you compromise yourself when you're being at work. How can I be authentically who I am without compromising uh, the foundation of what you're doing at work and also the foundation of who you are in general? And when I come to this, I was thinking about myself. I was thinking you have to be aware of yourself. You have to be aware of the things you continuously do, how you step out into the world, and how you step out with your truth. You don't always have to say it out loud and just like shout it out and say, "Hey, don't you know this is my card? I'm gay." But you can step out and say, "I know who I am, and I know how I want to be respected when I'm showing up to be my authentic self." And I realized that when you're showing up to you want respect, you're asking for respect, you have to be respectful of yourself too. Because you don't realize how much we show up beating ourselves down and knocking ourselves down and pulling ourselves. We can drag ourselves through the mud. It's literally we can hurt ourselves, but we also can build ourselves up because we get to make a choice. You get to choose every single time to step into your truth and say, you know what? I want to be better. I want to be great. I want to show up for myself and I want to continuously evolve. I have never thought about this until, I started going through my journey and stepping into my spiritual practice. It's a real thing for me. I don't play around with it. I don't show up and say, hey, I'm just going to be positive today. I'm not going to be positive all the time. But what I can do is pick peace. I can choose how I want to respond to something now. I can choose how I want to contribute. I can choose how I want to show up. And every single time that I'm doing anything, I think about give me a breath. Give me a breath. Take a moment. Because it can go a whole bunch of ways. It can show up and it ain't gonna be pretty. But I know what I want to feel like. That's the most important thing. How am I gonna I know it is not work. I know it's not looking the way I want it to, and I know I can't control anybody else. That's a big thing. You can't control anybody else's feelings, can't control how they're gonna react. But I'm gonna tell you um how I take it in is I don't take it personal anymore. I'm learning and I practice every day. I wake up in the morning and I put my headphones on. I throw some meditation music on. Maybe it might not be meditation. Maybe it might be Oprah speaking to me that day. Maybe it might be Steve Harvey showing up for me or whoever is that moment where it just pops up. I take a moment to tell myself that it's okay to wake up not feeling like your best, but I get to set an intention to be my best. I get to set an intention to be my authentic self, to show up as my authentic self, and to love authentically. And I think loving authentically is really just showing up and being truthful about how you feel. And I also think that it is letting people know where you're at that day. I can I let my friends know where I'm at. Today I'm not feeling like completely myself. And but I still show up and I still allow myself to continuously grow in that moment because I think you grow every moment. Every single moment, I believe that you're growing to become who you are. And it's a practice. It's a practice because there are things that we don't expect to happen. We thinking like, oh, today's gonna be this and this and this, and we love to create how the moments are gonna be before we get there. But I believe that you have to really just take every moment for what it is. And then you get to respond the way you want to respond authentically. You get to show up the way you want to be. Another thing that I believe is by telling the truth, you are allowed to be truthful to other people. And asking for help isn't a weakness. Asking for help, I think, is the most authentic thing you can do because sometimes you can't do it all by yourself. And I believe that once I started asking for help, it allowed me to start showing up, to start being able to express myself in a way that I couldn't even imagine a few years ago how I'm expressing myself now. To be able to stand in front of people and to sound clear about where I'm at and what I'm doing and where I want to be, I'm I'm gonna take it to the next level this set, like from here on out. And I want to be able to be of service to someone. and let them know that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. But it's also okay to ask for help. It's also okay to tear up and cry. It's also okay to sometimes love hurts. So it's also okay to take that love and accept it for what it is, but know when to leave, know when to move on, know when to say, okay, I'm gonna love you from afar. I've learned to love people from afar because I've learned that how the way that I can be authentic with you is to show up saying that sometimes I can't be there with you no more. I can't be your crutch. I can't be someone who is enabling you. That is not me anymore. That's not where I want to be anymore. And being able to also take pride in me being a man who loves a man. That's something. So there's so many levels to being who I am now. And I'm able to express it now. I'm able to love it now. Self-love has changed my life because now I've never I'm in a new relationship now, and I can't believe the response that I have for it, the openness that I have for it, and the way that I've been able to say, hey, this is what I experienced, and this is what I've been feeling. This is where I'm coming from, and this is what I'm offering. And I'm okay with saying that now, and I'm okay with being who I am, and I'm okay with allowing them to say what they have to say to me too. I don't have to, I'm not punishing nobody. I don't want to feel punished. I don't want to feel sad. But I also want to be truthful and I want to have a truthful moment with someone. And in order to do that, you have to be truthful with yourself. That's what I think about being living fully and authentic with pride is to be proud of how far you come, to be proud of where you are now, and just to be proud of the levels it takes, the evolution, the growth, the words, everything that's coming into you from Reverend Alfreda to God, to your neighbors, wherever it's coming from. I believe that that all helps you become proud of who you are, to have pride in your authentic self. So thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. I love you.
Mm. Oh my goodness, Unique Maurice, that was rich. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's all just take a deep breath right here. Just take in all of that richness, all of that richness. Thank you, Unique Maurice, for your unique way of sharing this month's theme. And it's so great to hear you speak. We hear you sing sometimes, but now we actually got to hear you speak, and that was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now, without further ado, we get to go even deeper in our theme for the month, living fully and authentically with pride. Our very own Reverend Alfreda Lanoix is going to break it down for us in a way that hopefully touches our hearts and souls and allows us to be even more freely and fully ourselves. Reverend Alfreda.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Unique. That was amazing. And I don't know, Garrett, if I can go deeper than that. I mean, like, seriously, he covered every corner of the world. So, that's going to make me definitely be short and sweet so that I don't repeat. Short and sweet. So thank you for that, Unique. I love you. I've loved you from day one. Living fully and authentically, but I'm gonna shift it a little bit because pride is a very powerful thing, and it can go many different ways and in many different ways and situations. But I want to talk about, and I had a brief conversation on the other day with Garrett, and we kind of discussed a few things that, when you live consciously, it makes you recognize when there is a shift in the universe. And so we talked about, and I decided to say, living fully, authentically with gay pride. Since this is Gay Pride Month, This is the month that we're celebrating our uniqueness of who we really are. And so I wanted to like narrow it down because like Uniq said, there's so many other things that in our lives that we're absolutely proud of, right? Like we can be proud about our nationality. We can be proud about our gender. There's just our relationships, how far we've come. But I want to look at being proud of being who I am authentically as a gay/lesbian, or however you identify, spirit. This is gay pride, being able to celebrate my gayness. You know, and the thing about it is that you don't necessarily come out the closet one time. You know, life constantly gives you opportunities to come out. And what I've learned is that the more I come out, the easier it becomes. And I literally started looking for opportunities to come out. I'd be looking, I'd be like, wait a minute, like, you know, hold up, you know, if they're gonna say something that I can kind of like slide that right on in, because I want you to know who I am, because I celebrate all of who I am, because I paid a price for this, you guys. I paid a price. And when you pay a price for something, then you want your money's worth. You want your emotional money's worth of the price you paid. Like when I came out to my children and my family and my mother had issues with my sexuality. And she said, you know, you're going to go to hell. And as long as you're gay, I will never step foot in your house. And I had to stand on that, because I knew that if I had to be anything else other than who I am, what I've created to be, that I was selling out, and I could not live my life that way. And so I, you know, when you're living fully and you've paid these prices and you've stood in your truth, then you want to celebrate all of who you are. So it's talking about, for me today, is authentically living fully. That means bringing all of me to the table of who I am with my pride of being gay. I think it was like last month, I had a speaking engagement, and it was for California Black Women Health Project. And it was in downtown Inglewood. And it had to be at least, I'm going to say at least 700 to 800 Black women. And, you know, as a Black woman, and with all this Black woman strength and energy, you know, you got to kind of know who you really are. And so when the lady introduced me, she said, you know, she's the author of Go to Hell, and she's this. And then she said, and she's a lesbian. I said, oh, hell, you know. And so, but I had to step up and step in all of who I identify with. And when I stepped up and stepped in on that stage, the first thing I said was, you know, you never get tired and you can never stop coming out. And when I said that, because listen, you teach people how to treat you by who and what you accept for yourself, period. If I'm questioning my sexuality, if I'm not really comfortable with who I am, then what I give to people is this identity that I am wrong or is not okay to be gay. See, some of us have never really been authentically or fully who we really are all the time, You know, we're gay when it's safe to be gay. But when we're out in the world, you know, some of us are still kind of struggling with that thing. You know, I've said this before. When I come back, I really do want to be gay again. I just want to know it a little sooner, you know, so I don't have to send people through unnecessary changes, you know. So So anyway, when we talk about gay pride, being proud of who I am, it's about being able to live my life fully and bringing all of me to the table. And the thing that I love is that I created this statement that says life is an exchange system and we all bring something to the table. And that's what I love about when you're living authentically and what you bring to the table and what other people bring to the table, then you can have that dialogue and that exchange. Being gay all day, some of us are part-time gay. Only gay when it's safe to be. But acceptance of how I show up this lifetime is being authentically who I am, how I show up. And something that Uniq says is that this is an inside job. This is an inside job. This is making peace. This is acceptance. This is loving who you are from within. This is knowing that the way you were uniquely created to move through life this lifetime is something not just to accept, but to celebrate. There's many things that I've accepted, but when you celebrate who you are, you give other people permission to celebrate who you are. My children celebrate me. They celebrate. My daughter tells me all the time, Mom, I love the way you move through life. And that's simply because I love the way I move through life. I love showing up. And the beauty of that is that when you show up authentically and fully, you give people an opportunity to either accept you or say, you're not my cup of tea. And let me tell you, if I'm not your cup of tea, I don't want to sip from your teacup anyhow. So being authentically who you are. Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true. This is not about externally. This is about being true to thine own self. Because let me tell you, I have been in this gay community for quite some time. And one of the situations that's very heartbreaking is when you discover that there are people and they are gay and they don't want to be gay. They don't want to be. They don't have the courage to be all of who they are. I can't imagine being something. Well, I can, because I can remember when being a Black woman was not all of that. And because I was told that as a Black woman, this and that, and it made me not be proud of myself. Because I was told that African Americans were second citizens. And so, you tried to disappear. You tried to go into situations, into boardrooms and just, kind of sit there peacefully, because as the Black woman, we were told we were always angry and, don't be so aggressive. Hell, aggressive is who I am. Aggressive is coming from all the things that I've had to encounter. Now, my aggressiveness does not mean I strike out at you and that I mean to you, but it does mean that I'm able to stand up for myself. So when you embrace all of who you are, to thine own self be true, having the courage to be all that I am, to fully accept living and leaving nothing behind of who I am. Transformation, to be able to transform from the thoughts that no longer serve us. We have had experiences, we've been in environments, we've had teachings, we've been in religions, we've had all of this exposure. But when you come fully into yourself and accepting who you are and how beautifully you move through life, you learn that these things no longer serve me and that I have the right, it is my birthright to create what empowers me, what serves me, and what no longer works for who I am. I tell you this all the time. You create your own reality. You're so powerful. You're sitting there so powerful. Wherever you are, that's where you created yourself to be. But the beauty of it, as you evolve and as you grow, you can choose again and again and again. So this is not about pride. This is about gay pride, honey. I remember when they started out with Black Lives Matter. And listen, I'm Black. And that was really hard for me to accept because I felt like I mattered, but to say it out loud felt very uncomfortable because I was taught my value and who I was, that the world says I don't matter. And so to have the courage to stand, I mean, I'm listening to all this marching, Black Lives Matter, and let me tell you, I was feeling some kind of way. It was like, it's okay. Yes, I know I matter. Do I have to tell it? Do I have to stand on it? Do I have to shout it? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. Gay pride. We've done a lot to get here, you guys. We can't let it go. We've marched. We've been persecuted. We've died. So many of our people have died, have lost their lives behind being proud to be gay. They died. And so we cannot allow them to whitewash it, to bring it down, to make it comfortable, to make it acceptable, because we've paid emotionally, we've paid spiritually. Some of us have lost our families behind it. We've been rejected behind it. This is about being proud to be gay. Who? Because some of us are so scared. And we're scared due to our environment. We're scared because we've been conditioned by our parents, by our schools, by our society. And the last thing is by our religion. We've been told, you're not going to make it to heaven. Well, let me tell you this. If your heaven doesn't accept me as being gay, if your heaven doesn't accept me as being trans, if your heaven doesn't accept me because I cut my hair, if your heaven doesn't accept me because I wear makeup, I'm Jezebel, your heaven is petty. And I don't want to go to your heaven, no how. Ooh. The moment that you discovered something about yourself and that is not normal, the moment you discover, oh, wait a minute, I don't fit in. And then what we do is we try to conform. Like I tried to conform. I got married. I had children. I had 2 dogs. I had a cat. But within the confinement of all that, my sexuality was still there. I carried the Bible. I went to church on Sunday mornings. I shouted. But in the confinement of all that, my sexuality was still there. And I was about to pay the price for it. It meant leaving the comforts of my home, what I felt was my security. It meant breaking my husband's heart because I was not there. It was not who I was. It meant my son choosing not to speak to me for a year. It meant my mother drawing the line in the sand. Oh no, this is about gay pride. And I am so proud to be gay because I paid a price and I would pay it again. Now, what being authentically is not, it's not about being perfect. Sometimes we think, if we're being authentic that we're not, listen, we came from perfection. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to experiment and experience this beautiful thing that was given to us called life. That's what we're here for. We're not here to be in the Garden of Eden. We're not here to just eat fruit. We're here to experiment all of this that has been given to us. And we let other people put us in these imaginary boxes of this is the only way that you should experience life. That is not true. We shouldn't all wear the same kind of makeup. The shade that I wear might not work for Tom. We don't all wear the same types of clothing. It's called variety. And we're here to experience it all. So being perfect, no, we're not here to be perfect. That's what we came here from. We're not here to be right. We're not here to be right. Being right is trying to control things that are out of our control. I can't control you. That I thought was right last year might not be right for me this year. We're here to be open. We're here to know that we know that we know that we don't know. We don't know, and it makes us open to the knowing. Ooh, we're here holding on to things that don't feed our soul. Let it go. If it's not feeding your soul, let it go. If you're still people pleasing, if you're still trying to be accepted, you will never feel fully and authentically all of who you are. Ooh. Stop looking on the outside for love and acceptance. You will not get it. Because when you look on the outside, you're setting yourself up. You're putting your expectations out there. You're giving what you don't have to give. You're trying to save people. And at the end of the day, if you have not loved and accepted who you are, let me tell you, people cannot give you more than they give themselves. Something that Uniq says, being authentic, being fully who you are, being fully gay starts with self-awareness and self-acceptance. Authentic living fully is living consciously and being aware of your thoughts and your emotions and where are they coming from. We talk about intuition all the time, intuition, insight. But let me tell you, that's just the first step. Because you also got to question, well, where is this coming from? Is it coming from freedom? Is it coming from me being authentically who I am? Or is this coming from my fear? Or is this coming from faith? Where's this coming from? Because when you're living fully and you're living consciously, then you're able to discern, you're able to be aware. And when you live consciously, you're able to see those subtle things like taking gay out of gay pride, making it okay for everybody to be okay to say, I'm going to pride. Okay, so, well, which one? Ooh, with the choices I make, with the steps I take, this is how it will serve me and others. Listen, when you accept all of who you are and you are proud to be gay, oh my goodness, you just give people the opportunity because you don't try to go into the closet. The thing that I love so much about trans women is that that's who I am. I'm a trans woman. And if I'm a trans woman, then you get the opportunity to say, does that work for me? Because I know back in the day, no, they were not proud of that. But when you are proud of however you identify, then you attract those that will accept you authentically for who you really are. Ooh, it opens up. What is it? When you accept yourself, you're living without judgment. You're trusting what you feel because it's coming from a real, authentic place. Because you're being honest with yourself, the self, before the cover up, before the shame, before the judgment that other people have tried to give you. Understanding that you and who you are is enough when you have the courage to be honest with yourself. And I think sometimes we think honesty is that we're going to judge ourselves, we're going to tear ourselves down. But when I'm honest with myself and looking at it from a non-judgmental space, I'm able to accept that, first of all, we did not come here with a manual, and that we are all doing our best at all times. And when you can do that, you can have a guilt-free life. This was the first Mother's Day and my son is 50 years old. And this was the first Mother's Day that I had a guilt-free Mother's Day. That I recognized that it didn't matter the choices I made or the choices that I didn't make, but what was important, you guys, is that I tried. You understand how powerful that is when you have the courage and you try? It allows you to take away the shame. It allows you to take away judgment. It allows you to know that you are doing your best. And when I recognize that, then I recognize you too are doing your best. And I can take you off the hook. And when I take you off the hook, when I took my mother off the hook, she could not understand my sexuality. It was not her place to understand my sexuality. My sexuality was mine to understand. It was not my son's place to understand my sexuality. My sexuality was my place to accept and to embrace and to love and to cherish and to hold and to celebrate. This is about gay pride. This is about being really proud of who you really are. I'm telling you, the more you accept yourself, the more the world accepts you. And if the world doesn't accept you, that's not your world. That's not the world for you. Being authentic at its core is being total with integrity, with what's true for myself. In my closing, some of us have been buried alive. We are alive, but we buried. And we've been buried with other people's opinion of who we are. And we make that more important. We've been buried with shame and blame and fear. We've made all those things important. And when you are buried alive, you don't live your life on purpose. You do not live your life on purpose, because I cannot be on purpose until I find out who I am authentically and fully. In order for me to know my purpose, I have to know myself, because my purpose is based off of what I came here to do. And I can't do what I came here to do if I'm allowing this external and your opinion and society and religion to define me, then my life is superficial. But to have yourself be made authentically is to make your soul visible. I know my purpose. I know who I am and what I came here to do. I know it because I feel it. I feel it because I have accepted the package that it came in. This is the package that I came in. I came here to be Black. I came here to be a female. I came here to be gay. This is your package. This is your present. This is your bow. This is what you're wrapped in. This is what houses your soul. Ooh, and when you can love that, then your purpose will emerge because you're fully living. You're not living life on half a tank. You're not living life on those 97,000 thoughts that come in our minds that tell us you're no good, you're not enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough, you're not light enough, you're not living off of that. Because the soul is not caught up with all that external chatter. The soul is not caught up with it is who it is, and it knows its purpose. And the beauty of the soul is that it has patience, and it just waits for you to fully accept who you really are. When I walk into a room, I walk into the room of being proud of my gayness. I love it. I love that I'm uniquely different. I love who I am. Whew. And so this month, as we are celebrating and as we are living our lives, living fully, that means all of me. You know that song that says, why not take all of me, all of me, all of me, whatever that is that makes me, and authentically accepting who I am with my gay pride. My light is turned on. I am so grateful. I am so excited. I celebrate my gayness. I celebrate it because many people paid a major price with their lives, with their sanity, with their families in order for us to be able to be proud of who we are. And then the price that you paid in order for you to be proud of who you are. Gay pride. This is gay pride, you guys. Don't let them water it down. We don't care about it being acceptable in the eyesight of God. It's acceptable in the eyesight of God if that's who we are, because God is gay too. If I'm gay, God's gay. If I'm trans, God's trans. Ooh, okay. I get so excited. I get so excited because I'm so fully present, and I just love all of who I am. I've accepted all of my journey, what we call good, what we call bad, because I understand that it took each and every step that I've had to take in order for me to be who I am. And if I skip a step, then there's a crack in my foundation. And I don't want a crack in my foundation because I want to stand on my truth. And in order to do that, I have to be proud of all of who I am. And it makes me humble. See, when pride, when you accept all of you authentically and you're truthful with you, it doesn't not make you arrogant. It actually makes you humble because you know the choices that you've made. And so it makes you be okay when somebody else does something that you might not like. Now, it doesn't mean that you allow them to abuse you, but it does allow you to say, I've had some steps too. There's a verse in the Bible that says, ye without any fault throw the first stone. And let me tell you, Some of you girls can't kick up dust. Ooh, ooh, you know who you are, and I know who I am. Because we know. So let's continue to celebrate Gay Pride. Yes, there's other things that we're proud of. Absolutely. Celebrate them. But we don't have to throw them all in the same thing. No, Gay Pride. So the next time somebody said, you know, happy Pride, you said, yeah, happy Gay Pride. Because we paid the price. That's it. That's all. Happy Gay Pride.
Happy Gay Pride. Thank you so much, Reverend Alfreda, for just breaking it down in a way that only you can. Happy Gay Pride, everybody. Don't take my gay away. In fact, let's pause for a moment. Everybody repeat after me. Happy Gay Pride. Yes, yes. Let's say the word. And if it makes people uncomfortable, that's their opportunity to learn and grow. So rich, so rich, so rich, Reverend Alfreda. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have time for maybe one or two questions. We have a brief Q&A period. If you're interested in going a little bit deeper, or if there's something specific going on in your life that you'd like a little bit of coaching from Reverend Alfreda, or even from Uniq Maurice, you are welcome to raise your hand. And when I call on you, again, be as succinct as possible. I know that Reverend Alfreda goes so deep, so deep, so deep. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are no questions, but if there are any, now is your opportunity to raise your virtual hand. That's down there at the bottom where it says reactions. And then there's a button that says raise hand. And if I see your hand up, I can call on you and invite you to unmute your microphone so that you can ask a question. But I am not surprised because, again, Reverend Alfreda tends to go really, really deep and just hit us in a way that we get it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Reverend Alfreda, for your unique and specific way of showing up and helping us to remember the truth of our own divinity. So glad that everybody's here. So glad that everybody's here. And, you know, what we do is important. What we do is important. So I want all of you to really take ownership that, you know, inspire means something to each of us, and we get to go out and be our authentic self so that we can inspire others to do the same thing. It's important work that we're doing. I want to recognize that we are a global community. I want to thank our people tuning in South Africa, our people tuning in Colombia, our people tuning in throughout the United States. It's important to get this message out there. And so you can assist with that a couple of ways. One is I invite you to financially support Inspire. You can do that in a couple of different ways. One, you can go to inspirespiritualcommunity.org/donate, and then you'll have the opportunity from your computer to make a donation. Sometimes with a telephone, it may or may not work. So I do invite you to use an actual computer to make a donation. The other way you can make a financial contribution is that email that you received with the link to today's service. If you scroll down, there's a button there that says donate. So you can click there. So as soon as this service is over, I invite you to go over there, click donate, and give whatever amount feels right for you. Give yourself the opportunity to know that you are investing in yourself when you invest in Inspire. And really, we are all doing our part in service to a world that works for everyone. So whatever you're able to give, it is doing great work across the globe. It is important work. And so I thank you for your donations. There are many of you who are on this meeting right now who give automatically. I want to thank you for giving automatically on a regular basis. It means a lot to us. It means that we can continue doing the important work that we're doing. Another way that you can assist and inspire is, I know a lot of people want to get together physically. We have an activities committee that gets together and plans out activities for us to get together. If you want to be part of that, if you're good at looking at activities and planning, or just want to be part of the conversation, I invite you to go to that email that had the link to this service, hit reply, and just say, I am interested in being part of the activities committee. Also, if you have talents that you might want to share with us, I'd love a video editor. If you're great at video editing, hit reply and type, hey, I'm a video editor, I want to help. If you're good at Zoom and handling Zoom meetings, perhaps you might want to join our Sunday service committee. We have a great time coming together, producing this service, sharing it with you. And then later on, we get to upload it to YouTube so that it is always, always, always available. So again, I thank you for being here. I invite you to invite your friends. Sometimes they need another voice.
Yes.
So go ahead and give your friends the opportunity to share, inspire with you. So next service, our next services are July 9th and July 23rd. On the 9th, we have Reverend Frida. On the 23rd, we have Reverend Candace. And for both of those services, remember to bring a friend, because as we are learning about ourselves, as we are living fully and authentically with gay pride, we invite others to do the same. So the more we learn about ourselves, the more we can share of ourselves, the more we invite others to share of themselves. And this is how we create a world that works for everyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you all. I'm going to invite Reverend Frida to give us our benediction and closing prayer. Reverend Frida.
You know, this is the thing to me that's so important, is that you were all uniquely created and designed. You know, you're not a coincidence. You were designed by order. Like everything about you was created for you to be uniquely who you are. And we've just allowed society or religion and to tell us that we're not enough, we're not good enough, but you are. And the more, like Garrett said, the more you get to know yourself, the more it's all about knowing yourself. Like we're so distracted. We have all this external things, jobs and careers and trying to get a certificate here. And we just keep thinking that all this external stuff somehow is going to make us be okay with ourselves. But I've been with people that have the doctorate degree, I've had people that the house on top of it, and they are some of the most miserable people because, again, they've given all their energy away to trying to be accepted. But when you can just accept your journey and who you are, what you came here to be and do, I'm telling you, there is no greater joy, because joy is inside. Happiness, I always say, depends on what's happening, but joy is when you have the courage to embrace who you are and embrace your whole journey. Those things that you call good and those things that you say, I wish I had done it. Embrace them all. Take away regrets, because all of that has made you uniquely and beautifully who you are today, your life. And so on that note, as we close our eyes and as we embrace gay pride, I'm so grateful to be who I am today. I'm grateful that I am embracing my existence, my joy, and celebrating this beautiful thing called being gay today. I accept all of it. I'm grateful for those who came before me, for the price that they paid, for the journey they took, because they left the lights on for us to be able to find our way and maybe not even have to have some of the harsh experiences that they had to go through in order for us to come behind. Today, with gratitude, we're just grateful. We're grateful for all of who we are. And we know we're more than just gay. We know that. We know we're more than our stories. We know that. But we also know that that is a part of who we are, and we embrace it and we accept it. And so, with that, we come with gratitude and we say all is well with our soul. Thank you for our experiences. Thank you for allowing us to show up in our own lives. And thank you for giving us the power to celebrate who we authentically and fully are. And for that, we say, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Okay. Yay. Yay. Be gay, y'all. Be gay.
Thank you so much, Reverend Frida. Oh, thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you everyone for remembering the truth of your own divinity.
Yes,
Go out there, wear it loud.
Yes, yes.
Uncomfortable, that's not ours. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you on July 9th. Go be gay, y'all. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.